Well, I've had what I would call a fairly wide experience with multinationals, on the board of multinationals, as well as sitting on the board of medium-scale companies, and some very small ones too as well. And there are differences between the multinationals and the medium-scale type of businesses, and the differences arising from more experienced and more experienced practice, a longer practice, and many of the medium-scale industries are companies that are young compared with others. I'm talking about, take Unilever, for instance, that's been on for centuries. Take Heineken, that's been on for, also I would say centuries. So certainly there are differences. But what makes a company board work? I think the factors are similar. The factors for success on the small board, on the medium-scale board, or the board of a medium-scale company compares favorably with the factors of success with multinationals. Very important because it gives the board an opportunity to bring on board new ideas and new skills. One of the things a board must try to avoid is, we have done it this way. We've always done it this way. We don't want to change. Change is good. And the truth of the matter is, the marketplace in which we all operate is dynamic, constantly changing. We ourselves must keep pace with the changes. And the renewal gives the board a chance to get the best available, the best possible brains together. One of the challenges that boards face is, how do you treat your career directors, that is your executive directors, and your non-executive directors? The executive directors have a career, and it is important that the board or the company recognizes the fact that they have a career with the business, and that career needs to be protected. So if you get an executive director, are you going to give him also the type of term system that you operate with non-executive directors? So every company has to work this out for itself. If you look at the multinational, the tendency with the multinational is the executive directors, their career, the fact that their career directors is respected. And you do not re-elect them as you do not re-elect non-executive directors. And I think this is something that where every company has to be careful how it works out its own policy. So while I would say, yes, infuse new ideas, new skills through the non-executive directors. As for the executive directors, I believe that you keep them on their toes by giving them opportunities to be exposed to best practice all over the world, and making sure that they themselves are trained regularly, they're updated. But I believe that they should not be on term basis as a non-executive. They should not be. Basically, there are three things. The first is unity of purpose. The board must be united in pursuing the vision and the mission of the company, working to budgets and ensuring that you monitor carefully what happens, what is happening, or what happens during the year. The second, I would say, is integrity. The board must maintain the integrity of the business, and the board and the directors themselves must be people of integrity. I would say my third point would be that for any director to be successful in performing his or her duty, the person must have ability to listen to others when they speak, the patience to listen, and every director must go through the board papers with a fine-tooth comb. You don't come to a board meeting unprepared. You should come in very prepared, having read the board papers, and after reading the board papers, making the necessary personal research you need to do so that you come to the board meeting well prepared. Not just to listen, to make a contribution. You see, one thing every board must avoid is working in cliques. Because working in cliques, it fits one of the principles I talked about earlier, that is working in unity, what I referred to earlier as unity of purpose. A board must be sensitive to, it must be sensitive enough to smell the first sign of disunity. There is no such thing, in my mind, as interest groups. What you should have and what should exist is the interest of the business. The interest of the business, taking into consideration all stakeholders, and ensuring that you do not, because of the pressure to improve the bottom line, should change any other stakeholder. Division in the board is the kiss of death. Unity makes all the difference. And I would like to emphasize what I've said before. There should be no such thing as interest groups. There's only one interest. That is the interest of the company. And as long as everybody keys into this and does not see himself or herself as representing an interest group, then you find that there'll be smooth running. You find that that board will be very effective, and that board will deliver good results. Well, I think it's simple. I mean, go the way the world is going. If the world is going digital, make sure your directors are competent in that area. This is a very interesting thing, because you find that some people say, well, that is not for my age group. That's for you young ones. But the truth of the matter is, the world is for the young ones, not for the elderly. So we must all go digital. We must all go digital. Try to understand it. Try to keep pace. Change, as I said earlier on, is good. Change is continuous. Learning is continuous. So, to be effective in the changing world, you must be continuously learning, and that implies that you will make every effort to keep in pace with the digital world in which we are living now. That is the future. That is the present. It will become much more so in the future. The world is made up of men and women, and God in his infinite wisdom has made sure that we have men and women. I think it makes sense that a board should have representation of both sexes. Women are as competent as men. In fact, in many cases, women have proved that they can do things even better than men. What position has a woman not held in the world? They have been presidents of nations, they have been prime ministers of nations, and they've done well. So my view on that, my take on that, is that it makes sense to have both men and women on every board. I think the first thing here is for the company to have a clear idea of the market in which they operate, the dynamics within that market, the changes that are taking place, and the changes are likely to take place, and then to have a process of developing their manpower to ensure that the manpower can cope with the dynamics of the market and the expected changes in the market. You see, the directors themselves must be able to key in into all this, so that they themselves must be people who understand the market in that company is operating. Mm-hmm. They themselves, can follow the dynamics and follow the changes, and be able themselves to keep in pace, if not ahead, for what is happening, so that they can work out, so that the company can evolve the right strategies to beat competition.
Okay.
In other words, things are changing so fast now.
Yeah.
That all of us who are involved in business, and management and directors, must be at least abreast of the change. Better if they are ahead of the change. In other words, you anticipate the changes and you plan towards meeting challenges that lie ahead. To make sure there is unity in the board, unity of purpose. Then the board chairman must give directors a chance to air their minds on any issue. It should encourage a lively debate and discussion in depth. And you find that when you do this, what normally happens is that the decisions just evolve. Because you won't have a cause to vote, because the meeting will agree on the path to follow. The chairman himself must be completely dispassionate. He must not encourage cliques and groups on the board, and he must put everything on the table. From experience, I have learned that one of the best ways is to put the matter on the table, hear the views of the directors before even expressing a view yourself, so that you do not go in there imposing your will on the people. Let them express their views. Let a conclusion evolve from the discussion, and you don't have to be voting on every issue. Indeed, you may not even have possible vote. I have served on boards where I don't recall that we ever had a vote on anything. Discussions will lead to a natural conclusion of it. And if it's becoming heated and divisive, can step down the matter for another day. But please, give every director a chance to speak, a chance to express an opinion. What you need on the board, is not your friend. You need people who have got skills, abilities, experience, creativity, and foresight to make a difference. You want a board that can prepare, can look into the future, anticipate change, and prepare for the change. A board that is robust in discussion. You must discuss things fully. Not a board that just listen to the chairman and say yes, 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 yes. No. You see, you want a board that can take the market on and build the market to scale. So you want a board of relevant expertise in the various fields affecting your business.